Okay, so I'll be talking about the how the open market operations used by the Feds and its effect on the nominal interest rates and the quantity of money in circulation. So I have a graph over here that shows the interest rate and then the amount of money in circulation. So basically, open market operations are known as OMO, and it refers to the buying and selling of government securities in an open market. And the effect is to increase the money supply, the amount of money that the banks have, and to lower the interest rates and to increase the GDP, the overall GDP growth rate. So the graph over here shows the interest rates and the amount of money, which I already talked about. So the more money that there is available in the market for lending, the lower the interest rates on these loans become. And it causes more borrowers to access cheaper capital, which means that businesses and individuals have more money now than before. Now, that in turn will create more businesses and opportunities for individuals. Now, I'll talk about the money supply and how it influences the interest rates. So, basically, the more money that there is in circulation, it influences the short term interest rates, also known as the nominal interest rates, by affecting the supply of money reserves to banks, and also the nominal interest rate is also known as the federal funds rate. It's set at a rate where banks borrow reserves from one another to meet the reserves requirement, and this is the interest rate that the Feds target when conducting open market operations. And the short-term interest rates offered by banks are pretty much based on the federal funds rate. And in turn, all of this promotes sustainable economic growth. So now I'll talk about the graph. So over here, so pretty much open market operations, it increases the amount of money supply. So the result of this would decrease the nominal interest rates. So it would move from at this point down to N2, and the amount of money would increase. So there would be an increased amount of money in circulation, and the interest rate will also lower. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the effective decrease of inflation on the economy. So, so over here, this graph shows deflation. So this is a graph of the Great Depression in the 1930s, represented by AD from 1933 and 1929. So from the result of depression, the real GDP falls from 865 billion to 336 billion, and the price level also drops from 12.0 to 8.9, measured in the price of 100. So pretty much, inflation and the federal funds rate in general, as interest rates are lowered, more people are able to borrow more money, and this results in that more consumers have more money to spend, causing the economy to grow and inflation to increase. And this works and vice versa, where inflation decreases, then now interest rates are higher, and less people will be able to borrow money, and in turn it increases the production costs of raw materials, technology, and labor work. And now businesses will have a lesser opportunity to create more businesses and more products. So it reduces the production of only not only raw materials but also the products that the businesses are trying to push out. So in turn, deflation is a bad thing for the economy, and and that's pretty much it. So you can see from this graph that AD moves from 1929 here to 1933, and then also the price level drops. So we'll move from this point over here to the point on 8.9 level.